So we saw VI graph. Next thing is IV graph. As you can guess, IV graph stands for current voltage graph, right? So here, if you remember the standard, along the y-axis you have your current, and along the x-axis you have your voltage. It's always written in this form. So IV graph and VI graph. So when we look at IV graph, right, you have y-axis to be your I and x-axis to be your V, voltage. And in VI graph, this is the VI graph. You can see the difference clearly. So you have this to be your along the y-axis and current to be along the x-axis. Now, this two represent the same circuit actually, but you can see the difference. Right here, the slope looks to be very slopy, and here the slope looks to be very, it has risen very fast. So what does the slope in IV graph stand for? In VI graph, it stands for resistance. In IV graph, it will stand for what? So slope is given by change in y divided by change in x. In IV graph, you have change in current divided by change in voltage. So what is that we're looking at? Change in current is, well, I2 minus I1 divided by V2 minus V1 and all that. But what is it? As per your Ohm's law. Ohm's law tells that V is equal to I into R. But I want I divided by V. Is it not? So I'll divide with R both the sides. Okay. So I'll get V by R is equal to I. And I'll divide with V both the sides. So I'll get 1 by R is equal to I by V. So this is nothing but 1 by R. This is opposite of, reverse of resistance, that is conductance. So basically, this has a good resistance. That's why the conductance is less. Means for a huge voltage, as you can see, I have very less current. Is it not? This is way less than, this is quite less, right? I have a huge voltage, but less current. Okay. So that's the difference. Here too, it represents the same. You have huge voltage, but I have very less current. Is it not? But yes, this is a VI graph. This is the IV graph. So IV graph gives you, the slope gives you the reverse of resistance, which is known as conductance. Conductance has a unit as well, mho, MHO. Symbol I don't remember as of now, but yeah, conductance is mho. But anyways, this is the difference that they ask, and yes, graphically they'll ask what does it mean. Like here I have. What does this mean as per your resistance? If I call this as R1, this is R2. Simple straightforward question. Which is more? Okay. So again, which is more in this? So I didn't show you this last time. We can do it mathematically also. Conceptually also you can do it. Mathematically also you can do it. Conceptually it's very simple. For a huge voltage, I have very less current. For a huge voltage, I have decent current comparatively. Means what? R1 is greater than R2. If you're not able to do this, if it's very confusing because you guys are tensed, that happens in exam, you can do this. R1 is equal to V by I, is it not? So basically, V over here is 10 and I is 3. 10 by 3, which is nothing but 3.3 bar. While here, R2 is V is 10 and I is 10, so 1 ohm. So clearly, R1 is greater than R2. Again, all I did was, I just took the maximum value. Actually, I had to do, anyways, let me not confuse you. Just take the maximum possible value. So 10 volt over here and here to 10 volt, and the current is 3 ampere, and the current here is 10 ampere. Right? So which conductance is better? Conductance of 1 is lesser than conductance of 2. Again, they can ask you a question in any ways. Conductance is how good it conducts. Obviously, if the resistance is more, conductance is less. Okay, so this too is important. All this is very simple, very simple concept. You don't need to think too much. Very simple, straightforward questions. Just that you need to be aware of it, right? And don't get confused. Think about it in a calm way. Use your Ohm's law, and you will get the what does the slope of the graph stand for. And you can use maths, or conceptually you can verify the graph, think about the graph, and get the answer. You'll get used to it once you do it on your own. If you just depend on listening or answering, that won't work. Think on your own. That's how you learn the best.